Down at the Medford BLM in Southern Oregon, working in the super hot, and they're doing some OHV trail maintenance, which means essentially walking up extremely steep hills and really discovering what these muscles are for, which they could use for the next 5 weeks. Second week, found them down at the Coos Bay BLM doing some backcountry trail maintenance. They got to do some sweet reroutes, which you saw in the pictures here, and we're definitely in some of the most beautiful parts of the coast. Third week, found them again down in Medford doing some more OHV trail maintenance. And they finished their session strong with the last 2 weeks in the backcountry, starting the first week down in California, down near Happy Camp, and then after that first week, moving out into the epicness that is the wilderness back there. So these people had an amazing journey, and without further ado, let's hear from them.
I'm Jason Lonsdale, and I'm from Salem, Oregon.
I'm Sam Rollins from Pleasant Hill, Oregon.
Leslie Lush from Ashland, Oregon.
Asanella DeFrisco from San Mateo, California.
Milo Clencho from Ashland, Oregon.
John Douglas from Fresno, California.
Nathan Kazel from Bend, Oregon. And I'm Luke Swanson. I'm from Bellingham, Washington. And I was the rover for 3 of the 5 weeks for Blue Crew. I had a really amazing journey with these guys, as you heard. 3 of the 5 weeks were backcountry, and that's when I got to be with them. It was an amazing experience because we went from orientation, not knowing anybody's names, being individuals who are going to grow themselves. These individuals were strong, but they grew stronger through self-reliance, courage, understanding of each other, and understanding of themselves. But also, as the weeks went by, and I worked with them, and I went away, and I would come back, and they would become more of a cohesive group, become something better than any one of them individually, as they built on each other's strengths and helped each other in their weaknesses. Second week, there was already glimmers of this, and also in some ways, some very strong signs as members were actually pushing each other up the hill and physically helping each other up when one person would fall down. Some people get injured, and you'd help the person out of that. It rained, you'd help the person dry off their shoes, or just give each other a helping hand. But the last 2 weeks, we were down in California. It was over 100 degrees from several of the days. We were working in a fire territory where the sticks were hard and they cut you, and your feet would hurt more than they've ever hurt before in my life. And everybody understood. So sometimes, in fact, this crew would take upon themselves, if somebody was sore, you just somebody their own. All right, let me get that knot out of your shoulder. Or if somebody fell down, it's like, here, just don't even let me help you up. Let me take that from you, and then you in turn would help out your fellow man. And it was really awesome watching that growth in them, and watching them grow as people, but also how to watch out for each other, and how to help each other out of ruts and make each other better people. It was a really awesome experience. Thank you for the crew.
Good morning. As I said before, my name is Tasanella, and I'm a city girl. I've lived in Chicago for a majority of my life, and I had never been camping before this. And I had never even picked up a tool before this. And please believe me when I tell you that these last 5 weeks have been some of the most influential weeks of my entire life. The lessons I've learned, I will cherish for years. Living simply out there in the wilderness without the present-day distractions or pressures from society, I learned so much about perseverance, giving an extra 30% when you think you've given your all. You're not done yet. And most of all, the independence through dependence with your crew members. And at the beginning of the session, I was feeling anxious about Those around me are there to help, and I have family everywhere I go because there are friends all around me. Complete strangers who turn into family in 5 weeks, less than that. So thank you for coming to our NYC graduation. This program is truly a great gift to the youth of my generation.
When the clouds roll in, and the blue sky's gone, and the rain starts falling, as you're riding on, you're glad that your slicker is rolled up neat, tied there in back of your saddle seat. It flaps in the wind as you put it on, and it's good that your horse is a steady one, 'cause the trail you're riding is powerful rock. One side goes up and the other drops off. You ride in the rain for a few hours more till you get to your camp near the Green Lake shore. You stretch out a lash rope you tie to a tree, pull out a tarp, and crawl underneath. You build up a fire with some pitch that you found, then heap on more wood laying there on the ground. There is nothing like fire when your bones are cold. It's worth a lot more than a pot full of gold. But you don't mind the rain, because it makes the grass grow, and it's not quite as cold as if it were snow. And someday you know that the rain's gonna stop, and the sun's gonna shine, and you'll be too hot. It was written by Bill Roberts, who works with the Forest Service in Siskiyou. His business card reads, Hacker, Pilot, Poet. What's amazing about that country, aside, of course, from the air, the light, and the view, is how conducive it is to poetry and other forms of art. From 3 sessions of NYC, I can tell you that there is a beauty this work brings out in people, both literal, because dirt is the best makeup, and also in the awakening of what I can only describe as our souls. This awakening both feeds and is fed by hard work, self-dependence, and the familial relationships we develop with our roommates and our leaders. The memories themselves are a beautiful poem, one that I will cherish forever.
So like Ian said, we were down in California for the last 2 weeks, and we were working up a mountain. And as we hiked up this mountain, we saw the environment change as we got higher and higher, and the intensity and the beauty grew. And just as we were hiking up, and sometimes the trail was nice and smooth and flat and right next to the river, nice and cool, and then other times it was covered with brush, and we had to pick our way through. Just as we were doing that, everyone in our crew was doing that mentally. And I could see us develop as a crew over these past 5 weeks as we would face new challenges, get used to the NYC routine, and gain new experiences. So as we grew together as a crew, we also were hiking up our own individual mountains. And on the last day of our work site, we hiked all the way to the top and were able to see a beautiful view before us of the Siskiyou standing nice and tall. And I looked over at all of our crew, and I could see each one of you standing taller than when you first came. And I was so lucky to have such a beautiful sight. And so I thank you guys for the last 5 weeks and all of your perseverance and hard work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Blue Crew. Take care of your seat books and certificates and those pins of honor, and please take a seat.